Good afternoon. You're listening to Classic Country and More with Darcy Day. I have the pleasure of actually having a chance to interview Sheriff Bill Federspiel and Amy O'Rourke in the studio with me today. How are you guys doing?
We're good.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And so I understand that you recently came up with a song. You wrote it, right, I believe?
I did. I wrote a song called I Am The Werewolf on June 9th of this year.
Okay, and what inspired you to write that song?
Well, I had the pleasure of meeting Amy and her children at a memorial service. There was a group that was paying tribute to Amy's husband, who died in the line of duty. He's a police officer, and I was inspired just after hearing the story and having met Amy and having met her children. I went back home and I just started playing on the piano, and out came a song called I Am the Werewolf.
And Amy, I have to express my condolences to you. And it amazes me how strong you are of a person. And is there anything that inspires you to move forward with your life?
Well, my faith. Definitely my faith.
And you have 4 kids.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that must be tough, raising 4 kids by yourself.
It is, but it's also very comforting to have them. They're
Yeah.
constant reminders of my husband and all the wonderful things he was. Yep.
So, Sheriff Federspiel, how did you become connected with Amy? Did you know her husband?
I never had the pleasure of meeting Patrick. We may have bumped into one another, as Amy and I were discussing, maybe at a conference or something, but I don't remember that. If we ever did, it was just in passing. But just after meeting Amy, not once but twice in about a week and a half's period in May of this year at 2 separate functions, it's when I decided I needed to express some feelings that I had, and I couldn't really convey them with words, but something really touched me, and I started playing on the piano. That's always very comforting to me, and I'd never written any music before, but I wrote this song, and I wrote all the lyrics, and it just came out, a metaphor of a werewolf and what police officers have to do, and that's really what the song's about. And as I think about it, I hope this song raises awareness for the public as to how difficult a job police officers have across the country and across the world.
What message do you want people that listen to this song, I Am the Werewolf, what do you want them to take away from this?
Well, in the song, the metaphor of the werewolf is expressed that there are times when we have to rise above just being our normal selves as average men and women in law enforcement. We're confronted with some very evil people and people with bad intentions. And so the werewolf is that metaphor that I use. Sometimes we have to become, in my opinion, a werewolf. Not a bad werewolf, but something that resembles that type of a creature that is maybe a little bit stronger and edgier, because we have to take care of business. And then we go back to becoming ourselves when we take that uniform off. But the werewolf also has a secret and a weakness, and that's our family. That's that connection I had with Amy, that I'm sure, as with any police officer, that Patrick's weakness was Amy and the children, just like it is with my family and my wife. That's our weakness, That's why we go out and do this every day. So
it kind of helps you separate yourself, your personal life, family life, and put on almost a, superhero cape, if you will, or some way to help you cope with what you deal with?
Yes, because we don't want to be werewolves all the time. That would not be a good thing. So it's when we need to be the werewolf, we need to be, something more than what we are when we're in our normal lives. And so
Right.
I guess I would just like people to understand that law enforcement is a very difficult job. It's constantly going on. We're always out there across the world, day and night, weekends, holidays. Very difficult job, and we're always away from our family while we're out protecting the public, and it's difficult. So if there's anything I'd like to convey, it's that law enforcement is a difficult job, and it's difficult for the families too, who have to stand beside us
Right.
when we're gone on Christmas and the kids are there, and I know that happens.
So, Amy, how did you feel, and what thoughts went through your mind when you first heard I Am the Werewolf?
I think I had to listen to it several times before I didn't cry. And it was amazing and really spoke to me. The whole metaphor is really awesome because it's true. They do have to kind of become this superhuman. Just some of the stuff Pat told me he dealt with at work when he would come home and share stories. I'm not sure how he dealt with it. I think this may be kind of how, just kind of turning into something else for a little bit.
So did you, I mean, being a police officer and on the police force is a dangerous job. Mm-hmm. Were you one of those people, did you worry day in, day out, every time you went to work?
Yeah, a lot of the time I did. I was also able to kind of put it away. But if he texted me that he was going into a dangerous situation, say a prayer for him or something, then of course my concern was heightened. But and I would spread the word to just say a prayer for him because he's going into something sketchy. And he, well, up until September 9th, he came home safely every night. And I took great comfort hearing the garage door go up and, feel him crawling in bed with me. But, yep, sometimes they're taken from us like he was.
And I understand there's some kind of connection regarding the werewolf when you heard the song.
Yeah, I was very excited about that. Well, my husband also was a singer-songwriter, played guitar, rock and roller. He went back and forth between his acoustic guitar and his electric guitar. Every day he played it. That's kind of how he decompressed after work and before work, But he loves the classic monster movies, and The Werewolf is his favorite. So I just thought that was really cool. That's
very ironic.
Yeah.
Very ironic. So when did you first meet Sheriff Federspiel?
At last May at Comerica Park. We were there being honored with police officers, and they had us all in a room, and we just kind of went around and met each other, and he met the kids. Yep.
I'm sure the listeners are very anxious to hear this song. Is there anything else you want to add before I play it, before they hear it?
Well, yes, there is a portion of the song that we did add in something that is of particular interest. I mean, the song itself starts off with a broad view of law enforcement in the first verse. It narrows down and speaks specifically to events that have occurred in Saginaw. And then the third verse relates directly to Amy and her family and Patrick. But in the musical bridge, we added in a radio call, how Patrick would have been called on the radio at his agency, Radio 55, and his number was 55. That's in the song. That's a tribute to Patrick and for Amy as well. And obviously, Darcy, you're very familiar with that because you are the dispatcher on this song. And I think that was pretty cool. And I want to say thanks for doing that for us because you played welcome. A good dispatcher.
It was my pleasure. It reminded me of Ski Patrol. It was natural.
So that is of particular interest when people are listening and it goes into the musical bridge and the solo. Be listening for that Radio 55 and the final call. It's very touching and an appropriate tribute, in my opinion, for Patrick.
It's amazing. That's the part in the funeral that got me. I was able to get through the entire thing just to kind of take it all in because it was such a beautiful tribute. That a police funeral, if you've never gone to one, I encourage you to go. Amazing tribute. And they did not warn me that they were going to do that, but they had dispatch come on over the radio when we were all sitting in the cemetery and call for Pat. And, of course, he didn't answer. Yeah.
Well, again, I'm sorry, Amy.
Thank you.
And, well, thank you both. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you again to Amy O'Rourke for taking the time to talk with me. And Amy is by far one of the strongest women I have ever met in my life. She lost her husband, Patrick O'Rourke, last September in the line of duty as a West Bloomfield police officer. Let's keep Amy and her family in our thoughts and also in our prayers. And thank you to Saginaw County Sheriff William Federspiel for taking time to talk with me. Also, thanks for writing and singing this amazing song to raise awareness to the challenging and dangerous job police officers undertake willingly every day just to help protect us, keep us safe as citizens. I really feel honored to be a part of such a moving tribute, not only to Patrick O'Rourke, badge number 55, also, this is for police officers and their families everywhere. Let's take a listen for the first time on WCXI, Sheriff William Federspiel, I Am the Werewolf, on your station for classic country and more, WCXI.
Strong, committed family man going out tonight with a thin blue line. I roam the night in search of vampires, sorcerers and reapers who take young children's lives. They're killing kids